slow down, we get sick,
Okay,
we
I'll
get
just keep it
colder.
nearby because I'm
Yeah.
definitely not cold right now.
When we do the meditation, I mean, it will be it will be better to sit straight, but that's later. That's later. Relax now. Yeah,
Okay.
later on. I was actually just gonna do a little presentation and just
Okay.
explain a little bit about the mind and about Armenia. And no, I'm just kidding. Just
About the
Mary.
Armenians
About the
that I'm
Armenians.
not having a date with on Sunday because I'm canceling.
So basically, my name is Nissim. You don't know me yet, and Deborah, we just met. Basically, Nari knows me for a little longer. I studied hypnotherapy and NLP and massage and healing work. I did that for many years and taught meditation. Studied in India and Thailand and Israel, different modalities, Zen meditation, and different types of meditation styles. And if you heard about Osho, anyone heard? Yeah, so studied at his place for like a few months, in India, and studied naturopathy, all kind of topics in the alternative healing field. Okay, so that's a little bit about that, and what we're gonna do tonight is pretty much just gonna give a little bit of introduction on the mind, the conscious and the subconscious. Deborah probably knows; she has experience, and she can help me. If I have any questions, I'll ask you. And afterwards, we're gonna do a little guided meditation, and when we get to that. If you have any questions before, have you meditated in the past?
No.
You haven't meditated?
No.
Wow.
I
Oh,
know she
my
told
God.
me that. I was so surprised.
That's really. Oh, this is perfect for you then.
Yeah.
Okay. And have you meditated?
I've tried.
You've tried.
Yeah, that's
okay.
why I invited her because she said she tries. She has a hard time with it.
Okay, great. So you know what? That's exactly what I teach. I teach actually. First of all, people that have never meditated, I'll tell you what meditation is, what it's not. Because there's like, oh, what should I do? What should I not do? Stuff like that. So that will help you.
People have a lot of ideas of what it is. And it's
Yeah,
not
and
quite
it's
right.
it's really like water.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it is. So yeah, and it's gonna be nice. So if you have any questions throughout, just let me know. Basically, yeah, okay. So our mind just wanted to do a little bit of I'll draw it here actually. It'll be much easier, and probably he did that for you, right? Theory of mind. Okay, so our mind is divided to conscious and unconscious mind. All right. So I'm gonna draw here a mind. I'll show it here. All right. So what we got here, what we're born with, is what's called the primitive part of the mind. Okay, and here we have basic responses. One is for loud noises, and one is for falling. And if you know a baby in a crib, if they hear a loud noise, they're gonna jerk, or if they feel they're gonna fall, they'll cry. That's a basic instinct. Okay. If you think about it, caveman time, is walking about and in the jungle or wherever they are, those are the main things. Loud noise is a predator or falling, right? And we also have the fight or flight. You probably heard about that, fight or flight, which is also primitive, fight or flight. They walk in the woods, a predator comes, you either fight it or you run away, right? Or you play dead. So that's a fight or flight. These are basic mechanisms, the primitive area of mind. Can you see this? Yeah, fine. Okay. Now, what happens is something interesting between ages 0 and 8. We have experiences. Like we grow up, we have different experiences from our parents, from our primary caretakers, I would say. So it's either parents or uncle, aunt, or whoever we grew up with. Okay, right. So we have experiences that can leave with us a negative remark or a positive remark. Okay, now between ages 0 and 8, we have no filters, so our mind accepts things face value. All right. And it also makes up stuff. Okay, so our mind learns by identification and association. What does that mean? I'll explain that. It's a little bit of a scientific lingua. So we let's say back at age, I don't know, really young age, we enter into the house, really excited, wanting to share something with our mom, father, and at that specific moment, they might be very busy with something else, and they kind of brush us off. And I'm giving an example. You may want to look into your life, check, if something relates to this kind of example. So I want to share with them something. I want to tell them something. I want to show them something, and they don't have time. And at that moment, when they kind of brush us off, our mind works so quick. We have no filters. Face value. Oh, they did that. That means I am not important. They don't like me. Insignificant, all kind of decisions which not enough, not good enough, they don't love me, and all these things are so quick at a child's mind at these ages that they're like stamps. They're like boom, they just go in like the wax stamp for the seal, yeah, it boom boom boom, because there's no filter. It's just like what happens, it's just going to stay there. Okay, now what happens is like we have I told you that the mind learns by identification and association. So that exact example, okay, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, it says one thing, I'm not good enough. Oh, does that mean that they don't love me? Oh, does that mean that I'm insignificant? Oh, does that mean that identification? So the mind already creates associations, woohoo, like more negative remarks on thyself. Okay, now we also have positive experiences, experiences that leave a good response with us and build our confidence, or else we wouldn't make it, or else we wouldn't be here. We'll be like useless. So all this stuff is what we know to be true. This is our subconscious mind. Subconscious mind, and it is about 88% of our mind. So all this information, it become our knowns, like what we know to be true, what is real for us, our belief system. Okay, now it goes beyond. I gave kind of one example. The subconscious and all these decisions are the source for all bad habits, for bad eating habits, for smoking, for all kind of things. It's all comes from this part, and it's huge. It's 88% of our mind. Okay, it's a big chunk. Now up here we have logic, reasoning, decision making, and willpower. Now this is really amazing, because anyone made a decision one time to make a change? Could you give me an example? What you made a decision to make a change about some area of your life?
Let's just say even with diet, because I had high blood sugar, so changing how I eat so that I won't have to take medication.
And how successful were you with that?
Pretty successful, but sometimes I mess up.
Okay, so you were successful for how many days consecutively?
It depends. Sometimes I could be good for like an entire month and then just mess up one day. Sometimes I'm good just for a week and then I'll slip back into the old diet. It goes on and off.
Still?
Yeah. Most of the time I'm pretty good. Like sometimes I'll mess up once in a while, but usually it's pretty standard.
It's pretty standard.
Yeah.
So how about someone else pick something that you had a real challenge with, that you said you decide and then you decide again and then you decide again and decide again.
Smoking, I did that with smoking in my 20s.
So you decided to stop, okay, you went back, you decided to stop, went back.
Mm-hmm.
How many times?
I don't know. Maybe 4 or 5.
4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Okay. And eventually you stopped.
I stopped on my 30th birthday. I said, after this, I'm not gonna smoke. Okay. Well, here's the thing. We all have, like, you made a decision, okay? Now this is our conscious mind. These logic, reasoning, decision making, willpower. And it only has 12% power, okay? So let's say we make a decision to stop smoking, to go on a specific diet, to, I don't know, to decide to write a book. Let's say one day we want to decide to write a book, say, okay, I'm going to commit to a certain number of pages, and we never get to it, or we never sit, or we're sitting and there's like writer's block,
Mm-hmm.
we made a decision, okay? It has 12% power. This decision will go into the subconscious mind and we'll check. If inside the subconscious mind there is congruency to that decision, then 88 will work with 12 and we get 100%, right? And we get success, and that's when things are moving forward and actually happening. Now, when there is like, let's say smoking is tied to some kind of emotion or some kind of experience that we had in the past that had a challenge, we had a challenge to deal with, is uncomfortable to look at, is pretty traumatic, you know. So there's a negative about it. Okay, so when stopping to smoking checks into the subconscious goes, hell no. It pushes us out. That's why, you know, the decision will last for a little bit. It won't succeed fully to go through the whole thing. So in anything else, you know, in your life that it shows up, it's pretty much the same mechanism. Okay, makes sense so far? Yeah. Okay. Now here's a funny thing. The subconscious mind is actually designed to preserve us, to keep us alive. Okay, it's designed to keep the organism alive. And what is it based upon? It is based upon the information that it knows. So the information that it knows can be these negatives and these positives. Okay, so our subconscious mind will keep us in the boundaries of what it knows. Meaning that what it knows, the knowns are filed as, okay, safe and pleasure. That's pretty crazy, right? You know why? Because if we have negatives that are saying about myself, I'm this, I'm not capable, I don't deserve, I'm not good enough, I'm not likable, I'm insignificant, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. Our subconscious mind, we decided these decisions when we were very young. Our subconscious mind files them as safe and pleasure. It's pretty crazy, right? And that's where the whole comfort zone, quote unquote comfort zone, comes, because we get stuck in these negativities and we loop into them all the time. And the mechanism is a machinery that's just doing what it does. It keeps us in because it's filed as safe and pleasure. Which means that what is unknown to us, what is unknown is actually filed as danger and pain.
And unsafe.
So what is unknown, for instance, let's say we have a let's say we want to that example with the person who wants to write, and let's say they decided at a very young age, I'm not creative, never going to succeed in being creative, nothing's going to happen on that arena, and they start and they try to, you know, to take on a project and write a book. Well, their known says it's never going to happen. You know, I'm not going to be successful in writing a book. What is unknown to them is actually being successful in writing the book and completing the project and being a bestseller. That is filed as unknown, as danger, and as pain, which means that the subconscious is designed to preserve us alive, and the subconscious thinks that if we go from the known to the unknown, we'll die. This organism will die. Therefore, it keeps us in the known. Okay. Does this make sense? It's kind of giving a little, yeah, it's ringing. I see the bells in you.
No, it's like you get programmed. As a child, you're just a sponge taking in all this stuff. You don't have any other frame of reference.
Exactly.
So it basically, these experiences at the primitive level program the organism.
Exactly.
So just because something is bad,
it could be
that's normal. That's normal. Bad is
being berated.
So have you ever listened to Dr. Joe Dispenza? He's a neuroscientist. Do you know who he is?
Joe Dispenza. Yeah,
I
definitely.
love him.
He's great. He healed his back with
love
yeah.
Love
Amazing.
him. He, after the hypnosis, and then Dr. Dispenza, I was a new person. You have to get up. In order to change yourself, you have to get up a different person. You have to become a different person. And he said that whole way of change, you're going to go back. You want to go back to what you know, which is bad guy, bad relationship, all this stuff is what you know. That's what you know. That's where you go. And so when you don't do it, you know you're lonely. You know you're getting better when you don't go back there. But it feels really weird.
It feels weird because it's unknown.
It's unknown.
The unknown is
really
uncomfortable.
So I feel like I'm going through that chrysalis, like a butter, you're trying to get out, and you're stuck, and it's all sticky and itchy, and you're trying to get through that chrysalis. And I mean that in every sense of the word, because it's taken quite a while for me to be working through that chrysalis, and I'm still doing it because I still want to go back there sometimes. Yeah. But I will not do it. I'm in that hallway of I deserve to have these great jobs.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you know. Yeah. And I think that it makes a difference that when a person understands the mechanisms, like okay, it's a machinery. It does what it does.
Exactly.
It's a machine. You know, so the subconscious mind is basically a servant. It will do what it's programmed to do. Period.
Yeah, it's like a computer.
It's like a computer.
Rewiring.
And what can you do in a computer? You can insert.
Yeah, you erase that, delete that old shit.
Delete that old shit.
Delete the old shit and program the new shit. And that's what we're doing, programming the new shit. And
exactly.
It takes
repetition.
It takes repetition. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of meditation, a lot of quiet and a lot of pain and a lot of crying.
Well, here's the thing. I think that I personally think and choose this life that we are here to actually do this process.
Yeah.
Like the yin and yang. We're experiencing both sides.
Yeah.
You know, it's like in Zen they say we start at the 0, we come back to the 360. We come back to the same point. You know, so we experience everything, and that is the life.
So if you want to have something different, you have to be different. I no longer accept all that stuff. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Did you read it?
No.
Dr. Joe wrote that.
Oh, he did?
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the work. Because here's the thing, here's something about, for instance, an example that I think people can relate to or know that it exists. Battered women, or they get themselves into the same situation because maybe
that's all they know.
And you know what? Here's the funny thing. Maybe when they were young, they were beat up. They were abusive parents, and at a young age, those are my caretakers. Oh, that equals love.
Yeah.
Because they're my caretakers. I'm like, I don't know what to do in this world. I'm taking, instructions from these people. Oh, I guess this equals love. Boom. Stamp. Okay, so they'll seek out and then they'll blame them. No, it's not them. And it's not even the woman itself. She's not to blame. It's not about blame. It's about taking responsibility for the blueprint that is there, right? So our mind will keep creating the same situations of the decisions that it decided at a very young age in order to prove that they're right and to preserve us alive. So it thinks. When are the problems show up? When this conditioning, the old conditioning, no longer works. When this blueprint no longer preserves this, or it's killing the organism already. That's when people wake up and say, okay, this is no longer working. I know I got to do something.
That just doesn't feel good anymore. What used to be normal, if you're an asshole, I can handle you because I'm used to that. That just feels icky now.
Yeah,
it just feels
exactly.
Awful.
It's like why should I take like once I agree to that, like you shared something about sister and everything, you allowed yourself, we allow ourselves to be in a certain painful situation,
it doesn't feel good anymore.
We'll make it, we'll survive. The question is, are we wanting to survive or we want to thrive?
Exactly.
And it's a decision, it's a place. Like, okay, now most people want to survive. Most of us want to survive because the work, it takes a little bit of work to want to thrive, to choose to thrive. It's a moment to work.
It's risky too.
It's risky.
It's risky because it's the unknown. We are afraid of the unknown.
And this machine will think we'll die. This
Remember
unconscious.
I said that earlier? I'm afraid of success.
Yeah.
I'm scared to death of success, and that's why my business isn't as busy as I need to be. That's why I'm taking these jobs and not those. That's changing. That is all changing.
Yeah, because
I just need to get that chrysalis goo
she has now. Yeah, I mean, she's becoming aware of this dirt here, that she doesn't want it anymore, and she's doing something about it. Okay, so that's exactly why we don't wake up in the morning and our unconscious mind goes, yeah, I'm Tony Robbins right now. I'm gonna make it. Exactly. Give me 50 million. You know, it's not gonna happen, because the subconscious mind is so invested in what it knows, is that it requires our intervention. Stepping, getting ourselves up, going to a seminar, going to a therapist, going to a hypnosis, going to something to move that around, Or else it's not gonna happen. Like we're not gonna. The subconscious is not our cheerleader. Not gonna say, "Oh well, it's."
It's not at all. Our subconscious is.
Because it got used to something, It got used to a certain way. It's a gate, yeah.
What gate?
Your apartment.
It's the gate to the unconscious mind. Open up just right now.
A gate? It's not that loud.
Sounds like a metal gate.
Wow.
Well, some people have metal in
Had
here.
somebody hung themselves over Christmas lights.
Ooh.
No, wait.
Well, I want to make sure it's high enough.
So, what there's a saying. It's when the pain of the known becomes bigger than the pain of the unknown. Because why I say because it's perceived through the mind. That's when people will change. Because the pain of the known of what I'm doing right now.
It's the same with your circumstances. You cannot change your circumstances unless it's done in here, because you're going to still accept the same circumstance.
Yeah,
always.
And we're creating the our mind is creating our reality.
Even through our words, we're creating our circumstance through our words.
Yeah.
We talked about that earlier. I try to avoid all those words. I can't, I won't. Remember I say in the meeting, I am, I can, and I am, and I will, and I do.
Yeah.
Until it takes hold. Until I become that I am. Whew. It's a lot,
Yeah, and you know what? It's
meditation.
Great that you're doing the work. Hey, I mean, and that's what it's all about, is as being proactive in doing the work, and proactive in bringing ourselves daily from the known to the unknown. Oh, let me just open that and look at the unknown for a second.
It's so easy to go back to the norm. It's been so hard not to pick up that phone and call that fuzzy fucker. It's been really hard sometimes, but that's what I know.
Exactly.
It's just so part of my format. Who I am and what I create.
What she's describing that she's doing, basically, she's shining. It's like going into a dark room, and then we'll be bumping all these things and stuff we don't know. Okay, so that's like working, doing things in automat. We just go and just oh. And then when we shine light at why am I actually doing what I'm doing, and why did I produce these results when I want different results, and why am I making this much money, and why I have this kind of relationships. Now I was like, this is not working for me. Let me open here the unconscious mind and shine light on the automatic patterning. What's that?
And get a broom.
Yeah. You've got to first turn on the light when you get to the room and not get stuck into everything. It's like, oh, okay. This chair here doesn't work for me. Let me move this. Gonna turn on the light and like move around things. Okay, this belief. Oh. Now the thing is, I'm saying this, and it can be simple. I'm saying this in a more simplistic way. Really, the things are, the unconscious is unconscious. It's like we don't know that it's there. You get that? So we don't know that we don't know. Like people, like are you a pilot?
No.
Can you fly a plane?
No.
And you know that you don't know, right?
I know that don't know that. Yes.
Can you drive a tank?
No.
And you know that you don't know that, right? Okay. Now guess what? Where possibility and change lays is in the domain of what we don't know that we don't know. The aha moments. oh wow, this is why I'm doing this. You know, these old decisions that are so old that we made them at such a young age that we don't know that they're there. And they're running the show.
Right.
That's the absurdity of the whole thing, that they're actually running our life.
It is the absurdity of it, especially when you get to be 120 years old and you're still doing the same thing.
If you're 120, I think you've done some kind of work to get to that age, you know, or else you die at age 70. So, you know, that being said, there's many tools to access this subconscious, and I think that it's worth it. You know, I think that being active in understanding our operating system will actually explain to us why we have what we have going in our life, and will give us the tools or empower us to be able to better deal with it from a place of being at cause versus this is happening to me, or how did I actually cause my life and create it? What's my responsibility in causing my life? Because we're causing our life.
We created every single thing up to this very
Exactly.
moment.
This chart just shows you exactly. We decided, conscious or unconscious, we still decided. The 3-year-old girl or boy decided. You know, so they're not to blame. I actually, coming to terms that I have decided what I've decided is taking responsibility. Is not blaming myself or the little person that they were unconscious and they decided.
Or resenting
The
yourself.
fact is that they decided. The fact is that this machinery worked. Okay, so let's all say, okay, I created this. Now what? Oh, what a relief, you know. Instead of like blaming or saying, oh, you know, how do you self-mutilation? How do you call that? When we beat ourselves up. You know?
Flogging.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I created it. Now, okay, got it. If I created that, I can create something else.
That's right.
Right? So if I created this negative, then for instance, in hypnotherapy or in NLP or in even meditation, what happens is we start exposing the subconscious scripting, okay? And we start becoming aware of it. Because in meditation, you know, it takes a little bit of time, a few minutes, and the conscious mind calms down. And what happens when the conscious mind, the noise, the chatter calms down, then the unconscious stuff will come up. The good thing is that the unconscious stuff actually wants to be resolved. It is like how do you say? It truly is a yin yang. We literally have to experience what we decided, and then we don't have to. This is what life is offering to us to get out of it. So we have to feel it in order to let it go, and we have to and how we let it go is when we feel it. That's why, like, you know, medications are not that great, because they suppress the feeling. So they lock everything in the cage here, and it's like, okay, I don't want to deal with the pain, and then I'm like flatline, kind of so to speak. Our mind actually wants us to deal with the pain and resolve it. And should we take the initiative to actually do what it takes, if it's hypnosis, meditation, any seminars, workshops, lighting, shining the light, it will support us to actually resolve. Because we in essence need to experience the negativity, you know, the contrast. That was the word we're living in a universe of contrast. We need to experience what we don't like in order to know what we do like. And that's the full circle. You know, we can escape it. You can try. We all do try to escape it, you know, sometimes, because we seek pleasure and avoid pain, you know. True. And sometimes coming into this pain for a second means that it's going to be resolved, means that it's okay. It won't eat us up. And actually the pain there for so long eats us up slowly, bite by bite. And then, you know, cancer, diabetes, arthritis, all kind of stuff has a big tie to the unconscious printing, and will start happening because it's toxicity. Negativity in our unconscious mind is toxic. It's like
causes so many illness. So many illnesses don't need to be sick.
It's toxicity in the in the blood.
It just starts to break down your body.
Yeah. So And this is true for every person. It's like we're all the same. You know, when people say, okay, we're all connected, or we all, the common thread is that we're all on some level operating in the same kind of machinery, the same kind of operating system, if you will. You know, so this pertains really to every person, and I think that every person can benefit to really open Pandora's box and let the demons out. You know, once and for all. You know, and once we open it, then they'll start coming out. You know, they'll start coming out, and it becomes, for me, it became a habit on like working on myself and becoming aware, and
becomes the new normal.
It becomes the new normal.
And then you recoil from that old gunk.
Yeah.
And it feels so good when that happens.
I mean, every day I'm observing what I have created in my life, in my relationships, and all kind of different relationships and things that are happening. Like the other day, this is so crazy. Like when we become really, really attuned and really accepting the fact that we are really creating every moment. I was running this program, if you will, this thought that I thought I hurt someone. I thought I heard someone on like, I thought I heard someone, and I was thinking about that. I was like, oh my God, oh this, oh that, oh this, oh that, oh this, oh that, and I was running it. And then I was going to Trader Joe's, and I stepped in. Oh, I was going to Trader Joe's, and I was running it, and then I went to the post office, and the guy said, I dropped off packages, and the guy looked at it, he said, what's this address you're using, this return address? This is in Topanga.
Yeah.
You should use Simi Valley. Now, in 10 years that I'm shipping stuff, no one ever stopped me to say something. Now here's the connection. I was running a program of some kind of me making myself wrong and being the bad person. I made the whole thing up. The whole thing was made up. The whole thing. I never hurt them. The whole thing was made, and I was running that. Oh, okay. I just went to the post office and I became the bad person, so to speak. Can you understand how the connection?
Yes.
It is like so quick.
It's
so quick. It happens all the time. It happens.
Yeah.
We're not immune to it. No one's
Listen,
immune
I
to it.
did
It's
this.
like,
I have a new neighbor, which I invited tonight. I met she and her daughter, and this is insane, complete, unrealistic insanity. So we've gotten friendly or whatever, and it was Halloween, and so I had said something about a seance, and she goes, "Oh, you do that?" And I said, "Yeah." And so they couldn't make it, but then the daughter shows up one night at my door. "Hi, my mom said you do seance." So she and her friend came in. They're both like 17 years old. They sat there on the couch. One sat here, one sat there. I sat there. And we were kind of doing a little mini seance. I was using my dowser. And we were calling in spirits and whatnot. And the candles were, it was really beautiful. And they were all into it. And you know, we were videotaping. And we're really excited to see the spirit world, you know, kind of thing. And then I said, well, you guys have to go now because I have a show coming on. I have to watch. So they left. And I'm there in my head going, because I invited the mom to come over tonight, and she never responded. I thought, oh my God, she hates me. The daughter said I'm a lunatic. What is wrong with me? Oh my God. I was so depressed because I thought that they didn't like their experience with me, and it just went on and on, this reel that has nothing to do with reality. So I text her again with, oh, hey, I didn't hear back from you. I sent you a message. She goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I really want to be there. I got a job. My daughter had such a good time. They love you. And my mind is completely opposite.
And she made up stuff about herself that is results.
They're going to call the police and say I molested one of them. I mean, my head is just going like to complete and absolute lunacy because you didn't respond to my text. So there's moments where I go, oh my, and I say it sort of in jestly. Oh, nobody's coming tonight. I don't have any friends who don't like me. And then I say that kind of kidding.
Catch yourself, yeah.
Right? And then I'm like, yeah, that's not true. People are busy. They have jobs. Things just going on. It's kind of a weird night. It's not a big deal. It doesn't matter who's here. We get our experience.
Right.
That's the real truth. So I've gotten really good about instantaneously paying attention instead of going, God, you dumbass. I go, wow, your mind is really creative. Good thing you're a decorator. So I turn it into that, let's work on, and then I turn it into how I'm going to promote my business and how I'm going to get the next job. And I turn that creative monkey brain into something else over here that is actually realistic. Mm-hmm. Right?
You keep it busy doing something constructive.
Something constructive rather than, monkey mind where you're making things up that have nothing to do with reality on this planet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's automatic. Like it's automatic, and what she's sharing is basically she just noticed
because it's that
the automation.
It's that 3-year-old programming. You're not worthy of having your diaper changed, so you can just sit there and be wet.
Oh.
That's where it comes from. It goes that goes way back.
And here's the thing: is it how liberating it is to just admit that.
Okay.
Because we come, like the ego will cover and say, cover that, and I don't want to deal with that, and that's ridiculous. Okay, I'd rather be ridiculous and free than right and sick. You know what I mean?
It's an automatic response to go back to what we know, and what we know are those formative learning experiences. That is our programming. So my automatic response is, okay, you're not going to feed me and change me. I'm going to pick up a drink because it soothes me. Mm-hmm. And so now, as you get into a new self, automatic response starts being really healthy. Like, let's have a meditation at my house. Let me take a walk.
Yeah, that was quick.
Let
when
me go
you
outside.
just said, yeah.
What can I do for myself so that I'm well enough so that I can invite people into my space? Otherwise, I'm screwed. If I pay attention to old message, I'm all screwed up. But meditation has helped tremendously to hone in those skills about meditating and self-hypnosis to get into all that. Because, like, the little cry the other day, things get triggered, you recognize it, you go, wow, okay. Boy, I'm crying. Okay, that's new with all these people sitting here. So, okay, so that happened, but it isn't a come home and flog yourself. It's something that
uncovers another thing.
Uncover, discover, and discard, and then go, okay, that was that. Now I'm in my moment, and I'm on the planet again. I'm in my skin, and all is well. And it's that quick now.
That quick.
It's that fast.
Yeah, so it's a choice. It becomes the new mechanism becomes a choice.
Yeah,
it becomes a daily.
I can never sit in a mechanism. It feels gooky. It feels sticky.
Yeah. So for instance, meditation. Let me just explain to you. Yeah, it's basically one of the tools to shine light on the unconscious mind, on the unconscious scripting, and discover. After meditation, for instance, there's a lot of moments where, like, we'll meditate and then it works on it continues to work, like, throughout the day. Oh wow, like things will arrange themselves. Like, oh, now I get it. It's almost like the unconscious mind just pushes out stuff for us to become conscious. So the part that we don't know becomes part of what we know. So the unconscious becomes conscious. The automatic becomes non-automatic. Like, we can recognize the source of the automation and say, oh, wow, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why I responded or I responded. The whole, well, I'm not going to say it on live feed, but, what I went through with a certain person, and the whole thing.
Right.
I was like, wow. I created it and moment by every time, it's like, more and more and more. I went through quite of an experience with someone, and it was finding.
Was it a woman?
Yeah. It's admitting to myself more and more and more how much I have created it. Because it was very charged with a lot of emotion and a lot of anger and a lot of this.
Yeah.
And in the midst of all that, it can never be them. Because whenever we point a finger out, how many fingers are pointing towards us?
Well, it depends. But at least 3.
3 are right?
Yeah.
So
no, what I'm calling you out on is my stuff. If I just dislike you a lot, I'm like, ooh, I better figure out what's going on here.
Yeah. It always breaks down to that.
Yeah.
You know, there really is no escape.
Can't there just be assholes out there?
Well,
Yeah.
there
There's
can.
a few assholes.
That's a really good question. That's really good because our world, you know, is filled with a lot of
Assholes.
people that are choosing to stay unconscious. That's how
Yes.
we would, you know.
I call them the unconscious people. When I'm out walking and riding my bike, I'm like, oh.
And my choice is how I'm going to respond to them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Right.
exactly.
So another lesson from that experience, actually, that I described, and I'll tell you later when I'm offline, maybe, is that there are people that are choosing to be where they are and don't really want to be contributed to, which means that if I contribute to them, I'm becoming the bad person. So what I do, my response is, okay, you're making a choice to be unconscious. I'm gonna move aside and just let you be
And
what
let
you want to
you be who you are.
know? And versus taking it personal, because if they're unconscious, they don't really care about you or me. You know what I mean? They're already hurting themselves. You think they won't hurt
Yeah.
you? So I'm just gonna move aside.
And
You know what I mean?
we belong to an organization that there's a lot of that. A perfect example is a woman came to me a few years ago because she wanted to learn how to meditate and be more conscious, and her dress and her manner and everything about her. She wanted, and it started, remember I told you I would heal people's homes and create these beautiful spaces, and so she wanted me to create a space for her and help her with her looking better and all of these things. And I found after 2 years that I was banging my head into a wall because she's only gotten worse, not better. But it's no reflection on me. It is a reflection on me if I continue to keep going to the hardware store for milk. She
Yeah.
just, you can say that you want to change and you can say that you want this and that and the next thing, but I'm learning to really decipher who those people are that really want help. Like, you can see that we're a group of women sitting here that really are conscious and want to be more conscious, and each day to be better than I was yesterday in every way. And there are those people that you have to just put the fish back. You got the hook in the mouth, they're bleeding a little bit, and they like it that way. But throw them back. And it's a hard decision, and it's hard to see and do. But what I realized and what was so important with this particular person, exactly like my mother, really masculine, frowny, just the clothes are just old bratty, just doesn't do anything to make herself look presentable.
And what did
and
she?
then complains about how fat she is and complains about it, but doesn't do anything about it when I had helped her. So she reminds me of my mother in many ways. And so and same thing with the guy. I was in bed with my mother for 6 years.
No, that's.
I was exactly in bed with my mother for 6 years. A narcissist, demeaning, punishing, unavailable. I could never be enough.
That's exactly what he's talking about.
Exactly.
You're choosing,
And
Yeah.
I chose
your
that.
original caregiver.
Exactly. And I did it all the way to up until probably it's been a year, I think, since this process really has started, when I got the hypnotherapist and the Dr. Dispenza. Wow. So it's really been a year of moving into the chrysalis, moving through the chrysalis, because I kept going back. One more time, I kept going back to the norm because my ego said, I can fix this. I'll make this better. I'll be okay. If I'm just better, they'll be better.
Because the child
takes what it takes.
Biologically is connected to the caregiver, and is whatever they're seeking love. They just have to get love. So anything that happens, I mean, they will do anything it takes to get that love.
Yes.
Okay? So if the
Clean
mother
your
is
room.
unresponsive
Yeah.
and they still want to get that love, they'll try harder.
Yeah.
And that becomes a decision, or I gotta do this to get love. So they'll
But this is a
attract
perfect example of how the subconscious overrides everything.
Everything.
It is so in control, until you make
Until
that
you-
conscious decision that I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Exactly.
I cannot
That's a good way to put it.
perform in this way anymore.
Right.
It has to be better.
Exactly.
And then you seek those avenues, whatever that is. And for me, it was hypnosis. It was the neuroscientist. It was working.
Yeah, Joe Dispenza is
rearranging that
amazing.
brain, meditation.
Amazing. Joe
It was-
Dispenza is amazing. Have you heard about him?
Oh, he is.
have
I
a
think
little
I've
bit,
told you
yeah.
about him.
Yeah.
I was the one who told you about him. I tell
So
all
much
my friends about
resources
him
out there.
because he's unbelievable. He changed my life.
Yeah.
Changed my life.
Nice.
Yeah, because I wasn't even within a year's time. I mean, the subconscious and what we're brought into is so powerful. It's just
Right.
it becomes who we are.
Yeah.
I can't change because that's who I am.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
That's
now
not
I
who we
say, I am changing, I am new. I am not the same person
Yeah.
as I used to
Yeah, it's a conscious choice to always to choose that path,
Yeah.
because basically all these decisions that we made, everything is made up. We made everything up. We wrote a story and we believe it.
Yeah.
So if
I
I made
tell
that
them-
up, I can make up something else.
Well, that's what I tell people, to rewrite the story. Rewrite the story.
Yeah, and deeper, another level of that, I think that there is an innate purpose that every person is here to do. So it's more, instead of rewriting something new, it's getting in touch with what I'm really here to do, or what I really like, what I really am attracted to, what kind of foods. So it's a discovery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who am I?
And the only way I can discover what is real is when I release and let go now of what is unreal and what I made up and what is no longer beneficial, and I can release that.
And you find out that you made up 99.9% of it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if that's the case, you can literally rewrite the script. You can
Rewrite the script.
I've already written my ending, and it's beautiful.
Start with
It's
it's
beautiful.
Stephen Covey. Heard of him? 7 Habits of Highly Successful.
Yes,
Start with the end in mind. Yeah.
Rewrite
Another
the
person.
ending. Rewrite the ending. hmm If I come from here, I can see the ending. I know what it's going to look like. I'm living that ending. And what do I want that to look like? What is it? More than that, what do I want it to feel like? So that the mind and the body are feeling and coinciding with one another.
Exactly. The conscious and the unconscious.
That's what Dr. Joe talks about.
Yeah, it's exactly so. When we have like congruency, I was going to show this to them as well. We have congruency between the conscious mind and the subconscious. So whenever we make a decision to make a change, to go somewhere, to start a new project, to start a new job, to start a new relationship and succeed in it, to excel, then this decision will check in, and the subconscious goes, oh yeah, cool, we got your back. So they will work together and create success. Now people like as Joe Dispenza, people like Tony Robbins, they have done so many repetitions of rewriting their script and releasing the old and so much introspection that there is congruency, and they create what they create. And Tony Robbins goes on stage and makes $15 million in that seminar, not because he's it's not about greed, or he's deserving it. He did the work. He's leading an entire huge group because he comes from a space of congruency. No one is exempt. Even Zen masters, they say, when they reach enlightenment, you gotta practice. Zen masters, they meditate every day. You gotta practice. Like even when they get to that state of mind, you gotta practice, because our mind is subject to outside interference of exactly what we just spoke, of a lot of people that choose or are still in the sleeping unconscious state.
Which are a lot of people.
Which were a lot. So we have to practice all the time. Unless we live on a mountain, we still have, I think we still have to
I love
practice,
this example where if in the olden days before we had phones, but you do somebody's phone number, right? You call somebody every day. So you call your mom every day, your brother, whatever. You call somebody every day. your mind can forget the phone number, but your hands won't. You can forget the number, right? You go, what was that number? And you go and you get on the phone, you pick it up, and you automatically dial the number because you remember it. And so that's the whole point of this changing your mind to become who you are intended to be, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
the older you get, the more difficult it gets. That's why, it's
Because the mind got accustomed to a certain way of living and operating. So to introduce, that's why it's good actually to start it at a young age.
the automatic operating
behavior.
System just
Yeah,
is on automatic
kinda-
go, like breathing air.
Don't move my cheese kind of thing. It's annoying or it can.
I'm breathing in the air, and you hit me in the face, and that's just what I'm used to. My parents hit me in the face. I'm just used to that. It's normal. I could just be walking down the street. You hit me in the face. I just keep going because I'm used to that.
Exactly.
It's normal.
So we're gonna do a little bit of
Yeah.
a meditation in a minute. Unless there's any questions, want to ask anything? You got it. Yeah. Okay. Certificate.
Yeah, I'm good. Let's get rolling.
I
Let's
just have
just.
one question. You look too young to have worked with Osho.
Oh, he passed. I
In
went
the
to his
80s.
place when he wasn't there. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's gone. I don't know if you want to get this on the tape or not, but I kind of felt like he corrupted spiritual teachings for
Mhm.
his own personal benefit.
Oh, I remember.
I think that
you
there's
telling me about
that he was very outspoken, and
Yeah.
a lot of a story was created around him
Yeah.
in order to shut him down.
So we didn't have
'Cause he-
99 Rolls Royces and a bunch of Rolexes and
That's the contrast.
yeah.
He was like, oh, if he was brilliant because people come and they, first of all, they listen to his words. That's great that you brought that up. People were bringing him stuff in order to buy enlightenment. And he was like, oh, okay, you're gonna want to give me a nice watch? Okay, great. Thank you. Oh, it's so comfortable meditating in a Rolls Royce. And he was just being himself and just like reflecting to the people. Oh, you want to buy enlightenment? Check it out. See if it works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He wasn't acquiring it. There is a difference between actually
He wasn't
acquiring it,
seeking
like
it,
what's
yeah.
his name that they sued him, the
The
yoga,
Maharashi or not
the yoga
whatever,
guy
The one that worked with the
with the hot
Beatles?
yoga, Bikram.
Oh yeah.
He acquired. He was like acquiring stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Osho he was reflecting. He was like the simple guy. They showed his room where he actually lived.
Yeah.
Very, very simple chair, little table, comb, just very, very simple. And everyone around dressing him like that. And he was speaking and driving everyone nuts because he was saying stuff and people were like, oh, let me listen, I'll get enlightened. And then he would change the subject in a second. And it was just, why'd you just do that? Because it's not about what he says, it's about his whole essence. His being present, what he's behind, what we don't know that we don't know. He was that. He was what we don't know that we don't know, and trying to communicate it in a way that whoever was sharp enough could get it, So
what you're
That's
saying is people were sort of gullible enough to go, okay, so let me just give you this fancy car, this watch, and enlighten me. And he's like, well, okay.
oh, that's a nice gift, thank you, And then he gave it. He gave these things out. It's not like, but it was just like a reflection. Oh, you wanna buy enlightenment? Okay, that's your choice. I'm not gonna. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Didn't go and acquire it, and I need your money to acquire stuff. None of that. Zero. Everyone did. People dressed him. People bought him stuff like that, and he's just lived this. When he went to his room was very, very simple and basic. Like you show videos and pictures of him, just like combing his hair with this old plastic broken thing, and he's just simple guy. So.
Did that answer that question?
I mean,
is it believable?
well,
It's an approach.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you have to believe it or that you have to accept it. It's just the way I looked at it and explored it from within, because yes, that existed there and that question did come up.
Yeah.
that question did come up, and I looked around and I was like, okay, there's a lot of people that are running this show here, and they have a lot of money and they want to buy enlightenment. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. You either do the work and get out of your head and get out of the, you know, of the I can purchase something.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work. It's still going on today. It's expensive to go in there. You know, Germans and Canadians are running the place.
Yeah.
And the price.
Is it in, where
it's in Pune.
It's in India.
It's in Pune, in India. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's when I left, when I came, I was there. It was like 150 rupee to enter, and that's a lot. 150 rupee, you can eat 3 days. You can eat 4 days.
Wow.
You actually can eat for like 15 days.
And they charge you that much just to go in there?
It's becoming. It became something. Yeah. Now
It got corrupted.
Sounds like the ayahuasca movement, like that's going on here, which I don't agree with.
Yeah,
At all.
there's. At the end of the day, the work itself. Like here's the thing: when I was there, I went a lot into the ashram. I every day, and I did meditations and did all the active meditations. Did some workshops that I paid. They were still affordable. And then I took all the tools and I was like, okay, I'm saturated. This is enough. I locked myself in my room there. I rented a room, and for 4 months I would do every day repetition, repetition. Just doing. I don't need to be there. You know, I do. This is enough work. You know, I'm not gonna. If I'm there and paying the entrances, I'm not gonna buy enlightenment. I'm gonna be proactive and do the work because that's what it's about. Because it became like a social thing. People would go in, wear the robe, you know, eat the vegetarian food, do a little bit of meditation and a lot of schmoozing. You know.
Yeah.
So that can explain to you, you know, the kind of to do the work, to do actual work takes some kind of time and effort and continuous you know, choice.
Yeah, I don't want to get hung up on it, but at another time I'll tell you why I was interested.
Yeah,
in
sure.
that. Yeah, but
Sure,
I'd
sure.
rather move on towards
Sure.
Yeah.
So meditation for have you? It sounds like you experienced meditation in the past.
I myself have tried to, but I get kind of. I even went to one of these places where what's it called on Wilshire? That meditation.
TM.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, there's a place on Wilshire. I know the one you're talking
Meditation,
about.
something or other, but you know, it's almost like you're paying for yoga classes. You pay for breathing. This is the breathing meditation. This is the.
I have a hard time with those places.
You know, they have
Different
kinds-
styles.
different styles, and it was actually nice. You know, but
Yeah.
I get distracted by other. Somebody comes in. Somebody gets up. Somebody moves over. Their joints are creaking.
So noise,
The
outside
noise and
I'm gonna-
rustling
I
around.
want to address that. I want to ask
Sure.
you something.
Yeah,
And tell me if this is right or wrong. Now,
Sure.
when I'm a person who has a hard time sitting still.
Okay.
And so investigating and learning, I mean, I started meditating so many years ago, and just through various different types of situation. And I prefer to be alone. And I can be driving my car and meditate. I can be in my garden meditating. I used to garden to where I didn't even know there was anything around me. And that's not when I'm driving, but you know, I would get into such a state. I can do it right out here when I'm doing my little plants and things. And I'm so in my moment. And my understanding with meditating is it's just about paying attention to the thoughts that come in. Paying attention, because they'll never completely go away. Your thoughts don't just go blank.
Well,
You know, unless
that's
you're hypnotized, that you can kind of go a little deeper.
yeah. It's that's a good question. It's Go ahead. Bill.
But I find I can meditate almost anywhere. I can sit in a group of people.
But to sit still is challenging for you.
To sit still, I can do it when I'm home alone. But if there's other energies,
What if there's a group?
like I said,
Like here.
I've been to formal meditation. It's just not my favorite thing because I don't like all the distraction. I don't like to hear you coughing or you snoring or you doing this or you doing that. I prefer my own energy because I know what it is and I like it. I don't, sometimes if I'm in a big space, I can feel the energy of other people and I'm not fond of it sometimes, and so I don't feel real clear to meditate. But there's a soul motion, which is you know obviously know what that is, where your body is moving in meditation. You're physically moving your body while you're meditating, while you're moving, which is guided sometimes.
So guided meditation is easier for you?
So no, I'm saying that meditation doesn't always consist of sitting. And then thinking all of a sudden your mind's going to go blank.
Right.
Because a lot of people think that meditation you're going to sit there and and your mind goes blank. Well, it's about do martial arts, right?
Yeah.
And so it talks about that. It talks as a part of martial arts. It talks about imagine yourself at the bottom of a lake.